biggest sale with trick tendencies is they'll tell you all the things that they can do for you, and then a girl will believe it, and then after 6 months they can no longer provide the lifestyle that they've been providing in the beginning of the relationship. That's also a fake trick, and that's also devastating because they sold you an idea of themselves that was not real. So that's also fake AF.
All right. You also wanted to mention something about the sassy men apocalypse. I think
isn't that what you're selling them, though? Aren't you selling them the same thing? You're selling them like
if you're referring to the strip club, that's different. If we're talking about dating.
Well, how's that different? I mean, it's the same shit, right? You're selling them the illusion that you're into them.
In the strip club, and they know
that you like them. You're selling them the same illusion, right?
Yeah, in the strip club, they know it's illusion. They know it's not real. But if you're outside...
No, do they? Why do we just kind of bake in the assumptions that they know these things?
If they don't, they're tripping.
That men can't be preyed on by women inside of these clubs. Clearly, they very clearly can. Not all men who go into these clubs, even though they can consent because they're of age, have all their faculties, they seem to be taken advantage of plenty.
If they're getting taken advantage of, it's because they want to be taken advantage of.
Oh, well then I guess if you're getting taken advantage of, it's because you want to get taken advantage of.
Facts.
Manipulation is real.
Facts.
Okay.
Moving on.
Would we say the same thing? So, like, wait, if you're getting... That's actually a good point Andrew raises. So if you are getting taken advantage of, it's because you want to be taken advantage of. What about, like, a guy who lies to a girl about his long-term intentions in order to get her into bed? So, the girl, she only wants to have sex with a long-term boyfriend, and he's like, baby, I love you, I want to be with you. They have sex, and then he never talks to her again.
I think that happens every single day.
It does, yeah. It happens a lot.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
And it's wrong, but...
That either means the coochie or the dick was trash. Either way. That's what it means. If you guys fucking, you never fucking again, then something is wrong.
Well, but he could also just be like trash if he's just like wants to bang,
true
but
too.
is like lying.
That's true too. But most of the time, if you're just wanting to fuck and hook up, if it's just a hookup thing, it's like
about what?
Well, Andrew said that if you get taken advantage of, it's because you wanted to be taken advantage of.
To an extent.
Is that the same case if a girl gets tricked in that way?
I mean, yeah, if you want the D, you want the D.
Yeah, no, it's because she wanted it. She wanted to be taken advantage of. That's the logical extension, right?
I don't think it's
that's why these kinds of sloganeerings by people who cope because they've engaged in prostitution. It's a cope, right? They're coping about the engagement of prostitution, but when you take it to its logical extension, you find out, well, wait a second. When men are taking advantage of them, they seem to have a completely different outlook than when they go, oh, well, men going into strip clubs, they know they're being taken advantage of. Well, no, they don't all know that.
Okay, wait.
The strip club.
Hang on.
I feel like we should back up a bit.
True that they just know that.
We gotta back up. We gotta back up a teeny bit. When somebody comes to the strip club, they're looking to party and have a good time. And in the strip club, that's like bottle service and having a bunch of beautiful women around them, right? If you want the guy that's getting away from his wife that just wants to sit there and maybe get a couple dances, he's coming there for a reason and he knows it's going to cost him money. So it's not really taking advantage of. It's two different
bullshit.
scenarios.
Do you know what the concept of a parasocial relationship is?
No.
No. The concept of a parasocial relationship, you can be fooled into believing an illusion. And women and men are both capable of believing an illusion. In this case, the illusion is the girlfriend experience or the woman who's really into you. Clearly, when you get paid money to strip, you're not going to pretend that you hate the guy. That's not what you're doing. You're pretending that you're into him, that you think he's great, that you think he's fantastic. This makes you, in turn, more money. Now, we're speaking in generalities. I'm sure that you can point out some sicko who wants you to treat him like shit, but in general, you're going to act like you're really into the men that you are performing the service for, because that in turn is going to make you a lot more money, right? To kind of sit there and pretend that some of those men don't involve themselves in some kind of parasocial relationship or believe that the experience is real or that you really like them or something like that, it's bullshit. That actually isn't even possible. There has to be at least some of them that do believe that.
That's true.
I don't know what they believe, and I don't care. I'm just doing my job.
It's their
fault.
Right,
you don't care. You'll take advantage of them one way or the other because you're doing your job.
It's not taking
that's why
advantage.
I don't feel bad when you're like, oh, this guy took advantage of me. I'm like, good. That's called comeuppance.
They're going to a place of business paying money for a service, like very knowingly, very willingly, like they know what a strip club is. Most people know what strip clubs are, and they understand what they're getting into when they walk in there. I'm sure not everybody does to that full extent. We can't. He's gone now.
I feel like
He's gone.
I feel like a woman that's investing in a relationship based on trust of the guy and thinking that he's legitimate when he says a certain thing. I feel like that's completely different than a cash transaction.
They're two different
scenario.
things. You can't compare them or act like they're the same.
I mean, you can
compare them.
You know, there's people that have all sorts of vulnerabilities and they're in a different place and mentally. Maybe they've just lost somebody. Maybe they've gone through a divorce or whatever. Maybe they're just very naive. And that happens with females as well. And I don't think preying upon somebody and lying to them deliberately is ever a good thing.
Also, so let's back up real quick to what you were saying earlier. You said clearly most men know. I think that you're right. I think that probably most men who go into a strip club understand that it's a fantasy-based experience. But remember what she said. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if they don't think it is. I'm there to do a job. I'm there to make money, right? She doesn't care if there's men who come in there and don't believe that, they don't know that, or they fall for the parasocial aspect of this thing. She doesn't give a shit.
I mean, what is she
so
supposed
then in
to
turn,
do about
so
that?
hang on. She said it. Those were her words.
I did say that, and I believe that. I stand by
Can you
it.
repeat her words for me? Can you repeat them? So I know that you heard them.
Oh, she doesn't give a shit if they come there.
She doesn't give a
unknowingly.
shit. Yeah,
But
she doesn't give a shit.
Again,
so the
that's
thing
her
is,
job.
Why in turn should men give a shit if women are taken advantage of? If women fall for the parasocial experience? Because I assume that most women believe that most men are just looking to score. They're just looking to get some. They're just looking to hit and run, right? I assume that. And so since I make that assumption, any of them that do that, shouldn't I just go, well, you know, I guess you shouldn't have fallen for it?
Well, no, because you're comparing a business and a service to a relationship, and they're just not. They're not the same.
But the only difference is the money, right? There's no real.
there's
no real
Comparing
distinction.
meeting somebody in a regular environment, you're comparing.
No. Why is it that when you make an analogy that people don't seem to understand, that if I say apples and oranges are different, I'm still comparing fruit. So while I'm comparing two different situations, the logic is still the same. Strippers take advantage of men. There's no doubt that they do. Escorts do the same thing. They take advantage of men all the time. There's no doubt that that's true. So if that is true, if you have 3 sugar daddies who are taking care of your bills and they all know each other.
We're not taking advantage of people that need help. We're therapists. We're not taking advantage of people who need help.
Yeah, you got them on the hoe couch, and you're going to make sure that they get their right therapy, and it's just going to cost them a lot of money, right? You're there for them. It's a public service.
Especially if you're cheating on your wife or your girlfriend.
What's your job, dude? Because I want to know, like...
I'm a robotics mechanic. What's your job?
Oh, I work at Amazon.
What's your job?
I work
Mrs.
at
Tree
Amazon.
Dater?
Huh?
Okay, wait. Can we go back to the
But
topic?
I wanted to know
What's your job,
I'm
Mrs.
pretty
Tree Dater?
sure-
I'm sorry, Mrs. Tree Dater. What's your job? I'm a robotics mechanic. What's your job?
She had a question related to what your job was.
Yeah, ask the question for her.
Speak.
She asked me when I answered, I'm a robotics mechanic. What's your job?
I work at a fucking warehouse. So
Yeah, you work
but
at a fucking warehouse. So where were you going with that?
Okay. Anyway, so because you want to sit here and act fucking smart, I got you. Anyway, I want to know, like, do your employees or whoever that you talk to, do they think that you're taking advantage of them as well for like what you do, or like?
No.
Okay. So why would that be the same for a fucking stripper? That's their job. Are you stupid?
What you just said is incoherent, and I don't
How
even
is that
understand
incoherent? It's a job.
So wait a
Being a
second.
stripper is
You're
a
saying-
job.
Hang on. So are you saying that people can't fleece their customers by giving their customer an illusion
No,
and
and
taking
that's not what
advantage
I'm
of them?
saying. However, if they know
Hang on,
that
you
what
have
they're
to calm
getting...
down enough to let me get the question out before you
Wait,
answer.
hold on, but you've been like
Calm
yelling
down,
at
calm down.
everybody else.
Well,
You've
you
been
do
yelling at
realize that.
everybody
Okay,
else, so
okay. I
don't
want you
know
to
who
do me
you're
a favor,
talking
real
to.
quick. Count how many people are in the room and count how many of me there are. Go ahead.
She doesn't need to do that because you definitely have been talking over
Like,
a couple
you've been rude
ladies
this
several
whole
times.
time.
Nobody's even
And you've
talking
been
to you. We're having
interrupting.
this
I don't need
exchange.
you to talk
Let us
to me.
finish our
I
exchange.
don't mind to
though.
listen
Like,
to your
I don't know why.
opinions.
I don't know why
No, 'cause you're trying to
you're
make
even
people
involved
look
in the exchange.
stupid,
It has
and the
nothing to
only
do
thing
with
that
it.
you're
I
saying is
can
the
involve
dumbest
myself
shit
in
I've
anything
ever
I want
heard.
to. It's a podcast.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and you can also involve yourself by not speaking until we're done with the exchange. Remember how you were having
Already
exchanges
did.
with other people and I didn't get in the mix? Remember
And
how
then
I
when you
gave you
did.
that kind of respect?
But then remember
you
when
think
you
you can show it
did.
back?
But
I don't
remember
know.
what you did.
Yeah,
Remember when
I
you
don't
did,
think you
though?
can. But
I don't
try
think you could
anyway.
either.
So
Well, I've
back to
watched
the
you
exchange that we
try
were just
for many
having.
episodes, and I
Back
haven't seen
before we
it.
were so rudely interrupted by I don't know
I
this
was
broad over
speaking
here.
with that.
Perhaps you can explain to me if there's that many people in the room and I'm having various arguments with those people. Obviously, I'm going to have to insert and interject far more than those people are for me. It's easy because there's one of me and there's many
Is
of
it
you.
not
right?
all of us, though? We all have to interject if we don't, like...
And
what's
you
your
all have
point?
been interjecting.
What's your point?
I was
My,
really
Okay,
enjoying
my
our
point is that if there's one of me and 9 of you, clearly in order to get some speaking
anyway,
time, I'm
just
going
get
to
back
have to
to the
interject more
topic.
than you
Point I
do.
was going to make.
so you
don't
need to
even know
allow
what
him
was
to
in
finish asking the question. Go ahead, Andrew. Ask the question, then she can
Yeah.
respond.
Well, so the question is I don't know. In this case, you're creating a false dialectic. I was looking for a logical extension. I was saying, based on your logic, the extension of the logic should apply to these other situations. That's a logical extension. The
Okay.
false dialectic, which you propose, though, is saying because employers can mistreat their employees, that is in some way similar to selling a fantasy experience, and it's clearly not.
Are you talking to me or deadbeat?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Okay, so first of all, they're a stripper, right? So if they're a stripper, I don't go to a strip club thinking, oh, I'm going to make this girl my wife. Like, that's your fuck up, honestly.
Okay, you know a lot of people don't go
Well,
there.
but that's my point.
I
That
would
makes
say
my point for me.
99% of customers do not go in thinking they're going to get a relationship, thinking they're going to get any type of long-term anything. They're going in there to have an experience, to party, and to have fun. And the ones that are going in there to talk about their wife because they're annoyed are paying for a girl to sit there and to just listen to them yap. And they know that. They're like, thank you for sitting here and listening to me talk about my deadbeat ass life. I'm going to give you $500. And they are the ones that are making that conscious decision.
Yeah, but that's not what the dispute is. Do you know what the dispute we're having even is?
He was saying, if I remember it correctly, Andrew, he was saying, don't you think that that's turnabout is fair play if a guy tells a girl that he has longer relationship intentions just to get her into bed, that the one should make the other one okay or balance each other out?
So
No.
if a girl's getting bread is the same, you're trying to say, is it the equivalent of a guy selling the idea of a long-term relationship?
No, what I'm saying is that if you have the expectation that most men who walk into a strip club are going to understand they're being sold a fantasy experience, I can agree with that. But what I'm saying is that there's clearly going to be some who do not think that it's just a pure fantasy experience, who are being taken advantage of.
I agree that could happen.
Yeah, sure. So my counter to this is just to say, well, wait a second. I also think that there's women who are being sold a fantasy experience from men. And
Each and every
men
day.
are essentially trying to get the thing that they want out of those women, just like you're trying to get money out of men. And so if that
My
is the
job.
case, it seems that turnabout is fair play, yeah?
Honestly, same shit. I agree with you. You know, there's a girl doing it to a guy, there's a guy doing it to a girl. Different settings though. Guys are doing it at in regular nightclubs, and they're trying to like take a
You
girl home.
agree. You agree with me. So
I
so
do-
the
I do
point of the
agree with
contention
you.
is
I do.
Andrew's right. Right?
Honestly, I was trying to have a conversation with you this entire time, and other people kept like interrupting.
I know. That's fair. They were interjecting. I thought we were having a good
I was
exchange.
having my moment, y'all.
It was a beautiful moment.
And so moving things on here a little bit, you also, I think this was a tweet of yours, mentioned something about a sassy men apocalypse. What is that?
Yeah.
What's that?
I think men do want. Okay.
Okay.
Good-looking men, semi-attractive. I'm talking about on a scale 1 to 10. They're like 6 or 7s. Want to be chased, All right, they want to be chased. They want to be actively. I love them, as they should. Men want to be cradled. They want to be loved. They've been abused for so many years. They're getting sensitive. So now they're like, you know what? Show me that you love me. So they want girls to chase them. And in that process of girls chasing them, they're extremely sassy and they give attitude and they match women's energy often.
Drizzle. Drizzle.
What is that?
Yeah, sassy man apocalypse.
I love it, as you should. I know you want to be loved, baby.
I think girls should pay for first dates. In all dates.
Okay, I have paid for quite a few first dates.
All dates?
If I'm not gonna smash you out, and if I see nothing going, I'll pay for the first date. So, because I'll never see you
Wait,
again.
you smash guys out, or they smash you out?
Depends
both ways.
Depends on who it is. Depends how masculine they are, but yeah, I'm usually the one getting smashed out.
What the hell?
Sorry, y'all. Ew, not Andrew Tate.
Okay. Good times. Any girls here had this experience? You're encountering sassy men who kind of want to be pursued and chased by you, or girls, I guess. Yeah.
I think we have one on the TV right now.
Is Andrew?
I think he's a little
Andrew's
sassy.
a sassy man?
He's sassy. He likes to match the energy of the person he's talking to, whether it be a woman or a man.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is a true and fair assessment. Generally, if you're respectful and we have a good respectful back and forth, I like to have those. And if you're a total bitch, then I'll be a total asshole. But
You're a cutie, though.
I
You're
don't
a
think
cutie.
that's totally reasonable. I think that's totally reasonable.
I think that's
you
typical.
got good like arguments, and you come with substance, and I really do appreciate that.
She'll give you a
Great
discount.
debater.
She'll get
You're gonna
I'll
discount
take
the strip club for
$5
sure.
off a lap dance, and you and your wife get a couple dance by
What
me.
the? F-
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think with an alpha man,
I just
you're
want
going
to
to
let
have
you
that.
know, like,
You're going to
even
have that.
even if I were to break my Orthodox vows and do something as sick as that, why the fuck do you think I would ever do it with you? Like, where's the delusion come in? Where like,
Wow.
if you can pay for that, what makes you think I'd pay for that with you?
Honestly, that statement alone, I would say
Is
that
it sassy?
you need to go to the strip club and pick somebody that you are attracted to.
I
You and your,
need to.
like you
I
need
need
that lap dance, because if you're that hostile over a hot girl offering you and your wife a lap dance, then there's something wrong.
I've been told on this show a ton of times that hot is subjective. It's a subjective metric. It's not objective.
I think I'm
so
universal.
when you say hot, this is just a subjective term.
Yeah, I think
and
I'm
so for me, it's
universal.
also subjective, right?
Yeah,
You know what? This would be a perfect. Oh no, I unpinned the Stifler. Damn it.
If we're doing the ratings, I want to do something a little different on the ratings.
Unfortunately, we unpinned Stifler's comment, but typically we have. We have a question that comes in from a guy named Stifler. He says, "Ask everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Can't pick 7. Andrew, what is the differential that you'd like
Yeah.
to?"
If you guys will humor me tonight, I've been thinking about this, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, just so that you can understand my mindset. Women lie about this constantly, and we catch them in lie after lie after lie on this. And I know why. It's not even because they're being malicious. It's because they don't want to hurt people's feelings. Okay, like that's the honest reason that
Wait,
they
should
lie
we get the
about this
ratings
answer so
before?
much.
Should we get the ratings before, or you want to?
Hang on.
Okay.
Nope, this feeds into the question. I just want to give a precursor so you understand my mindset. There is such a thing as something called the wisdom of the crowd. And what this means is, if you had a state fair and there was a cow in the fair, almost everybody who guessed the weight of the cow would be wrong. But if you averaged their answers, you would be really close to the actual weight of the cow, the wisdom of the crowd. So what I'd like to do is ask you, if 1,000 men were rating you, what do you think they would average you at? Going around the table.
But you said you can't say 7? Was that what you said?
You can't say 7.
Why?
If it's 1,000 men are rating you and we're taking the average of all of their answers, what do you think that it would end up, the number would be?
Well, why can't you say 7 though? That's I'm just curious about that.
It's a rest in
Because
peace,
it's a
Kevin
safe number.
Samuels.
Okay. Well
Rest in
then
peace.
8.
8. You think that 1,000 men who rated you would consider you to be at the top tier of the most beautiful women in the world?
That's what I would
Wait,
hope
let's
for.
get. Why don't we? Andrew,
right.
we ought to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
the whole.
I'm sorry, go
We
ahead.
ought to get everybody first.
My answer, damn it.
10.
9.
I respectfully decline answering this question because I do not want to focus my point of consciousness into this sphere. So with peace and
What the
love,
fuck?
with
Wait,
peace
what?
and love,
Respect.
with peace and love, I decline
Why?
because I do not want to focus my point of consciousness into this sphere.
Into this
Into this
sphere
sphere,
or
into
the
this-
the sphere?
Into this sphere.
What
into
is this sphere?
This sphere, this point of conversation,
What do you mean?
and
What
the
does that
energetic
mean?
essence it lies within. I
What-
don't feel like it.
What does? I'm sorry. You're gonna have to
The
translate.
DMT is wearing off. Just let her just
Brian.
say what she wants.
I say this with peace and love and all due respect, but I don't answer stupid questions.
Well,
I'm
actually,
not
this
going to answer this.
I could say that the self-rating, perhaps you could make an argument it's a stupid question, but it seems like if you were to ask, what if 1,000 people were giving their subjective metric on how you looked, how they thought your beauty standard was? That actually doesn't seem like a stupid question to me. That seems like a wise question
Can I-
because we're looking at the wisdom of the crowd. This is the point of the mental exercise.
Well, I believe everything in existence has a purpose, but I feel this lacks a lot of value, and this
Teleology, purpose. I love purpose. I love teleology. I love the idea of a telos. What is your purpose on a dating podcast, do you think?
to bring in a new perspective.
And could this perspective also be to answer the questions which you're asked? And here's the thing. I'll be totally fair, and I'll answer the same question I ask you.
Is
Isn't
this
that
just
technically
based
her
off looks,
answer,
or
though?
is this just like off a photo of you, like a picture, or is it like they know what your personality is?
No,
I
they
think
don't
that
know
makes a
anything about your
difference.
personality. It's
Okay.
just a pure beauty
personality's
standard.
a
That's
10.
it.
Can I say something though? So my thing about that, like my response to that is like, I think it's subjective too. Like someone could see me as like a 10 and then someone else could see me as like a, and I get you want to like average it out, but the thing is like, someone can factor certain things into looks on average. So I feel like you can't really like
Preferences and
subjectively
opinions.
like be like, because everyone thinks Brad Pitt is hot, right? I
I'm
don't
gonna totally
believe
agree
that,
with.
though.
So,
And,
so I'm going
but
to
it's
totally agree.
majority
I'm just
out of
going to
a thousand
grant.
Wait, hold on.
But
Just to be
that's
clear.
a good point.
Wait, actually,
I'm going to grant all of this, right? You're totally correct. It's completely subjective. So based on what you think the subjective metric of 1,000 people who were rating you at a county fair, you're in a beauty pageant. You're in a beauty pageant. And the way that they determine who the beauty queen is they use the numbers 1 to 10. And you are estimating what 1,000 men would say you would be based on their general opinion.
So you mean like on average, like socially subjectively?
Yes.
Answer the fucking question.
thank you.
I don't know if
Come
I
on,
can
guys.
answer the question though. Like, what
It's
does
not
that even
deep.
mean?
1 out of 10.
1,000 guys looking at
1 out
you.
of 10.
What are they gonna put
Well,
you?
here's the thing. I would have said 7.
Oh my
but
God!
Why
here she
can't we
goes.
say
1 out
7?
of 10.
I like this girl.
Wait,
I like this
listen.
girl.
No,
I
it's
was
too deep. It's too
I
deep.
was
1 out of 10.
Go off, queen.
I was
Go
Go
One
off,
out of 10.
queen.
Listen,
1 out of 10. What do you
Go
give
off,
yourself?
queen.
I gave myself an 8.
7 anyway.
You
Listen,
can't
I
say
was
7,
gonna say
so-
7, but why can't we say
So
7?
just say
now?
6 if that's what you want to say then.
Go
Or
off,
8,
queen.
10. Come on, just say it, and then
6
let's
or
keep
8.
it going. Jesus Christ.
6 or 8.
Well, how does
You
this
guys want to
not?
get so deep with every fucking
It's either
question. Just
6
answer
or
the
8.
fucking question.
Yeah, but how does this not like engage
Just
more of
answer
the
the
conversation though?
Because look how many people are sitting at the table. There's so many other things we could talk about besides this. This question is so simple.
Well, I don't want to answer it, and like I don't want to. How am I supposed to answer it if I don't know how to answer it? Like,
can
what
answer
is
it.
that?
It's not- you're complicating it.
Internalize. What
Yeah.
would you?
What do you rate yourself?
Okay, I'll say
Hang on,
10.
hang on, hang on,
10.
guys.
The 10. There you go. She's a 10. Go.
Go for a
She's a
second.
10.
Go for a second.
10.
Go for a second.
I know.
So yes, I agree with you. It's okay to get. Hang on. Stop the side convo for a second. Stop the side convo for a second. It's perfectly okay for you to have a clarifying question, but I did clarify. So you're in a beauty pageant. It's 1,000 men. It's the rating system of 1 to 10. They all are holding up their little signs that say 1 through 10, right? What do you think the average of that would be?
She said 10.
Well, just let her answer.
Yeah.
She did answer though.
Yeah, no, but I didn't hear it. I
We
just
didn't
wanted
hear
to
it.
make
Go
sure.
ahead.
Oh, they want to hear you
Just
say it.
guys, let her answer.
10.
Go ahead. Sorry, we didn't.
10. Okay. I heard
And
it
then
that time.
hold on, but
Oh God.
we're coming back to you now.
Here comes the butt.
Allow me to have a bit of a back and forth on this. So go ahead. Well, have
My
you
answer has
reconsidered
not
answering?
changed. No,
Okay,
we should
so.
move on, 'cause-
Well, hold on. So now I'm going to have a meta conversation with you. So why is it stupid?
Why is it stupid?
Yeah, why is it a stupid question?
Because I feel like it's just on a surface level. Like there's no deeper.
You don't care. You're not superficial in any capacity.
No, I'm saying the question.
You're too far
in
from the
general.
microphone. Into
I'm
the mic,
sorry.
please.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Go ahead.
But I'm saying in general, the question itself is very surface level, and I don't think it takes into the account. I'm sorry to like have this conversation again because like I know we're
Just
going.
No, it's okay.
Have the
fine.
conversation.
I'm
Go
listening.
ahead. Have the conversation.
But I feel like it's such on a surface level where I hear this a lot on your podcast where you talk about the rating system and everything, and
Yep.
I feel it discounts and excludes the fact that everyone is unique in their own complex way. And I feel every person, say out of that 1,000 people, are going to be so different on that. They're going to rate you in such a different way because each of those people are so complex, including
We
you.
totally agree. Hang on.
Yeah, I get. 'Cause it's like
I
an
totally
average
agree.
you're saying, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, I'm going
Exactly.
to repeat back to you what you're saying so that you understand that I know exactly what you're talking about. You're saying it's a superficial
understand.
conversation. The reason that it is because across the board, these ratings are going to be so different, right, that it's going to seem bizarre. Perhaps that is true. However, that's why we're asking, what do you think the average would be out of all 1,000 of these people? Now, before you say, well, that's superficial, remember that anytime your boyfriend, husband, et cetera, ever has asked you what you want for breakfast, that's a superficial question as well. And you answer that one, so maybe you can answer this one.
Well, for this one, I just think in terms of even say the podcast, because I've seen your podcast a few times, in all honesty, I feel like you've been fractaling on with this question over and over and over again. It's overplayed.
But why
Wait,
come on the
sorry.
podcast if you don't want to answer these type of questions? The podcast is called Whatever.
Yeah.
So can't we talk about whatever? That's a whatever
Aren't you
question.
open to debate
what is-
though?
Yeah,
what
but
is-
it's just
Like, isn't that the point of
this-
being on here,
Yeah,
though?
no, that's
Yeah.
true. But I'm
Yes,
just
I'm
curious.
open-
Why
I'm
would you
open
come
to
on this
debate.
type of podcast if you're not like thinking that
This
you're going to answer
specific
those
one.
type of questions?
Oh, I already knew I was going to answer this one.
Oh, okay.
I had this plan.
See, I
in my
didn't really
head
look
before
too
I
much.
came in.
Wait, so you said
I don't know.
fractal? Something
Yeah.
about fractals?
So fractals,
What?
a continuous infinite loop of
Oh my god.
energy.
But I
No,
feel like
there's no
this
what.
is
She's right. A
important.
fractal is a continuous infinite loop of the same thing over and over because you can take one, you can fractal it into an infinite.
That's
You
what I
can make
call it,
anything an
shrooms.
infinite through a fractal. Has literally nothing to do with this question, though.
Okay.
I
You
was
could never
so
figure
you're
in a
as
million
symbol.
years
I
how a
was using
fractal
it
has
as a
anything to
symbol.
do with this.
I was using it as a symbol.
Wait, so
Come
so
on
your
now.
your objection is the frequency with which I ask this question, which is almost every podcast. Is that
Yeah.
your objection? Is the frequency?
I just feel like it's overplayed.
She's
I
trying
ask
to be
it too
different, guys.
frequently.
But it's
Well,
over-
hold
Let her
on.
be different.
But every single episode, I also ask people their name, their age,
Yeah.
where they're from, relationship status.
That's just like a basic getting to know the person. It's
But also,
Oh, this is very basic too. though.
everyone's going to
It's
have a
very
different
telling.
opinion.
Well, you
Like that
mentioned-
same question isn't going to feel the same for every single person sitting here every single time they do the podcast.
Yeah, I get
Everyone's
that.
always going to have a different
Yeah,
response to that.
definitely.
And that's what makes the question unique. Not the question itself, but the person answering.
I get that.
Yeah. So let me ask you a couple questions then.
You guys aren't getting her answer. She's not
Well,
going to say
that's
it.
okay.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that's okay. So
It's fine.
okay, so when it comes to physical
trying to make it the
attractiveness,
dolphin.
you don't care at all about that.
I think
And the
it's
partner?
more. So sometimes, if I'm just kind of like, I will be attracted to someone after I get to know them, where I won't feel attracted.
You're
to
not
them at all.
answering my question.
Are you talking about just like
I need you to answer my actual question. So, yes, are you attracted to people because of their personality? Wonderful. Can you answer the actual question though?
Repeat it one more time.
Do you
Just
make
so I
any
can-
assessments when it comes to somebody's physical attractiveness when it comes to determining whether you would date them or not?
yes?
Obviously.
Yeah.
Come on now,
Okay.
girl.
Over another.
I have a couple further clarifying questions then. So, would height be one of those things?
No,
So you would date a guy who's 4'11". How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
5'7". So you would date a guy who's 4'11".
I mean, if they were,
They're no,
Just based off looks.
oh, so they have to make up for it then?
No,
go ahead. Say what you're
I'm
gonna say.
saying I want to bring my boyfriend to this because like I love him and I don't even want to like compare him to in any situation like some weird. I don't want to talk about other guys. It's like period.
Okay.
So if I'm saying they were equal, like say my boyfriend was just 4'11". Oh, I'm sorry. Say my boyfriend was just 4'11" and he just happened to be 4'11". Yeah, I would be with him.
How tall is your boyfriend?
6 foot.
6'2".
Nice.
No, 6 foot. I think,
He's 6 foot. Okay, so interestingly enough, you don't care about height, but your boyfriend does happen to be
I didn't even
two
know
inches
him.
above the
I didn't
average male
physically
height.
see him until months after talking to him.
You never saw pictures of him?
Yeah. Well, I saw him on Instagram, but I didn't see.
What? So you did see him?
I didn't
she
see
was
him
saying in
physically in
person.
height in that form.
Well,
I
you
didn't
can
know
make
how
some
tall-
assessments about height just
I'm
even based off
5'7".
of
I
photos.
could be.
Even the assessment
I'm
of like
pretty
how
tall.
somebody
There's a lot
looks
of
is
games
what you're
being
saying.
played on
So
this right now.
okay, so in any case, you would date a guy who's 4'11".
If they were exactly, yeah. Like
If they're your
personality
boyfriend,
or
what if they're not your boyfriend?
Then no. 'Cause
What
I
if
don't
you
wanna
break
date
up?
anyone but with
Yeah,
my
what if you
boyfriend.
break up with your boyfriend and you're back on the dating marketplace?
Well,
Would you prefer to date a guy, all things being equal, who's 4'11" or 6 feet?
I don't see myself not being with my
4'11"
boyfriend.
and
If I'm not
500
gonna be my
pounds.
boyfriend, I don't want to be with anyone else. So I don't
If
care.
if
I'm not
you didn't
answering
have
the question.
breakfast this morning, how would you feel?
I would be hungry, but I don't care because I would rather go be a yogi out in freaking India than go
Okay.
get
In any
harassed
case-
with this physical world.
In any
in that
case,
form.
you did make a concession that you do factor in physical appearance, correct?
In some form or
Okay,
another.
so that means you can look at things in a binary, for example. So one person is more attractive than the other. So 0, 1, yes or no.
I wouldn't necessarily say someone is more attractive than the other just because of this and that reason. I think it's.
You guys.
I'm sorry.
You don't need to
mean
apologize.
that.
Just make the correction.
But I don't specifically say in terms of levels, be like, oh, because this person has this color eyes, they're more attractive than this person, or this person is an inch taller, they're more attractive
Sure.
than this
Let's say
person.
it's just it's totally ethereal. You can't even articulate precisely why or the reasons for why one person or the other might be more physically attractive. But can you make the determination that one person is more physically attractive
on
than
an
the other?
energetic level, like you just described.
Physical
yes.
looks.
No,
I'm
but,
talking about physical
Like
looks.
one-
but
more
you
attractive
kind
than
of just
the other.
described it. You said on like the level
Don't-
of you can't
gosh,
even
it's so-
put
That's
it into
not
words.
what I meant. That's not what I meant.
Okay, but if you did mean that, I would say then yeah. On an
Okay, so I'm
energetic
just
level.
talking physical looks.
on physical looks.
Yes. Can you make differentiation and determinations when it
Yes.
comes to physical appearance?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't like to in the form of seeing something as lesser than the other one. Lesser than something else.
Okay. But
Which
you,
I feel is where this conversation leads.
right. So
I
okay.
feel
I have a question. Do you you're currently wearing makeup now? Do you wear makeup in other capacities? How often do you wear makeup?
once in a while.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Like when you go out, would you just put on makeup?
Sometimes.
Okay. Why do you wear makeup?
Because I want to.
Does it improve your physical appearance?
I'll take it off right now. I don't care.
That's
it's
not.
my
I'm not
own
asking you
means
to
of
do that.
expression.
But you said the question is stupid, and then it's rather superficial. But I mean, and you don't really believe in looks and all of this. But I mean, you've applied paint to your face to alter your
Yeah, but I
physical
apply
appearance.
paint to everything else in my life. I'm an artist. What do you think?
Right. You apply paint to like some sort of turtle shell. I don't know what the shell things or whatever you make are.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, you make these like shells. They're cool, but you make these
They're like sculptures.
sculpture
portals,
shell
I mean.
things.
They're not shells.
I don't
they're
know. Okay,
portals.
whatever they
But
are.
also my sculptures that are actually like life size. Didn't see them.
Yeah, I think I saw. They're pretty
They're
big.
multiple galleries.
They're pretty big. In any case, I'm just confused. So, you talk about not thinking the question is superficial, but isn't wearing makeup superficial? If you were operating on this like higher frequency,
Because what if I
Can't
just
you
feel
have this
like
conversation with her after we go around the table?
why can't you just feel like answering
Can we
the question?
get to Dolphin?
Hold on.
Jesus,
hold on,
guys,
hold
I'm
on.
with
Can't
her.
even make it.
Let's
Y'all
move
can
on.
talk about this for the rest of the whole time.
Let's move on.
She doesn't want to answer.
There's
the
just
damn
rebuttal
fucking
after rebuttal
1 out of
at this
10.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep going, Brian. I'm sorry.
It's a
Yeah.
It's just how
Yeah,
it's
that's
gonna
fine.
be.
So
deep.
that's fine. So okay. So no preference with height whatsoever.
No, I don't care about it.
You date a guy with a micro penis? Small penis, is that
Fuck
okay?
no.
You're okay with a small peen?
I guess.
She's
I don't-
not
You're
down.
okay?
You're
Small
lying.
pee-pee?
No, I don't care. That's
You don't care?
kind of dumb.
Okay, all right. Hey, you know what?
Like-
That's fine.
There has
She's
to
lying.
be
She's
some
just
for
trying
them.
to sound like a good guy on camera.
There
you know?
has to
She's
be
like-
some because I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
There you
No,
go.
I just don't feel like answering the question.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I
at this
ain't
point.
doing it.
I just
I'm
want to.
saying
I
this
want
on air,
everyone
I
to be able
ain't
to
doing
answer
it.
the question.
So do you
I'm
think?
curious.
Do you think, for example, like you don't want to answer? Do you not want to answer the question because you think you're a 10, but you don't want to say it?
Yes.
No, I would not say that.
I just think she's not.
I think you're a 10.
You would not say you're a 10?
No, why? Like I don't. Oh, well, I would say.
She's like a million.
I mean, I've just
I thought
checkmate you.
in some
This is
weird
checkmate.
way, it sounded
You-
like you were trying to like say that I thought I was better than someone else. I wouldn't say that. I feel I am equal to everyone.
so we're all
in terms
10s.
of physical appearance.
Okay, yeah, I would say yeah, we're all 10s. Every single person
Okay,
here.
there we go. Everybody's a 10.
Okay,
Especially the
we're
girl in
gonna
the
get
pink
there.
hat.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'll move to that point.
So okay, everybody's a 10 in
Yeah.
terms of looks. There's no absolutely zero different.
In
but
their
this-
own unique way.
Morgan, is that your name? Yeah. Morgan's definitely like a 20 at least.
Okay,
And so is Helmet over there. She's
there you go.
fuck yeah.
Are all men 10s
Yeah, in their own unique way.
in their own unique way?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you think of? Do you have like a celebrity crush
No,
prior to your boyfriend, maybe?
no, I actually don't. I don't care about celebrities or anything.
Okay. So if I were to like pluck out like a 25-year-old male model, would you rather
I already
say
saw your list. I don't care.
what list?
I saw on a prior
the
podcast.
True Rate Me? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
She don't
I
want to
saw
talk about
all
none
that,
of this. He keeps going and going.
Yeah.
I
wants new
don't find any
Wait,
of them.
but why did you come on the podcast then?
She just
For
didn't like that
funsies.
question.
Girl, come on, because
To not-
you're stopping it for all of us.
No, wait, we can keep going. I don't care.
Okay, respectfully though, can we get to Dolphin?
Hold
I
on,
want to
hold
know
on.
the. Okay. All right, I'm about
Hang
to
on,
go get a
hang on,
shot.
hang on, hang on.
Hang on.
Let's finish. We want to finish.
We're
the
getting
exchange.
hungry,
We do
and
wanna
I'm
finish the
getting
exchange.
hangry.
I can already tell.
I'm
I can
getting
already tell. Me and
hangry.
Eve are going to be tangling right soon. I can already tell that that's going to happen.
Is this
But
citrine?
before it does, maybe I would like to just know the answer. So just so that you understand, this was actually a pretty common scientific practice, the wisdom of the crowd. They just would do it with livestock, things like this, as an experiment. And what they're trying to determine is, even if people are wrong about an actual objective metric, like the weight of a cow, for instance, if you took all of their answers collectively and averaged them, would they be closer to the truth? Interestingly enough, the answer was yes. So people would guess the cow was 600 pounds. Some would guess it was 400. Some would guess it was 500. Most of them were wrong, but collectively, when you average the answer, it was about right. So it doesn't seem like it's a futile question, doesn't seem like it's a bad question, and it doesn't really fit the criteria that you're giving us of overly invasive. You're just saying what you think the wisdom of the crowd would be.
I don't feel it's overly invasive, but to give
Good, then answer
no,
it.
but just okay. I was about to, but just to give
Okay.
a blank answer to move on because we should move on. I believe, out of my perception, that we're all 10s, including myself.
Thank you. Okay, let's go.
Do you think that that would be the average of the crowd?
Yeah.
Just say yes.
Sure, yes.
Okay.
Why do some people have modeling contracts and others don't? If everybody's
A lot
equivalent
of
in
people have
looks.
modeling contracts nowadays.
What's that?
A lot of people actually have modeling contracts nowadays.
Yeah, but why, you know, let's say that there's people who want to be models but can't.
I mean, there's also like connections. There's also different things going on in life.
That's
like,
what's happening in the
Some-
modeling
in some-
industry.
you know, in
It
some
has nothing to do with
instances,
physical
true.
appearance.
It's
just
well,
'cause
yeah, okay.
all the models have
I understand what you're
connections.
saying. I
Yeah.
understand what you're saying.
Okay.
And I understand.
But now they want
on a
from
societal
models
scale.
Yeah, well,
different
it's
body types.
it's definitely R-slurred now, but
So we're just talking about superficial looks still. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's keep going around the table. We're all 10s.
hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
You know what? You don't.
Hold on.
This is her podcast now. Okay.
I know. I was thinking she's going to host.
When did you?
Look,
not know?
tell you what, ladies. If I want to talk about this for the next hour,
Hey,
I'll
go
talk.
ahead.
We're gonna
I'll
talk
talk
about
about
it.
it.
And I'm going to talk back for the next hour,
Go
too.
ahead, go
Tell
on.
you
You
that
talk
much.
for me.
Okay. So, anyways,
Hang on. With great tattoos come great responsibility, right? You gotta chill out. That's the way it
I'm
works.
chill, dude. I'm super chill.
She's the
You
most
don't seem
chill
very
here.
chill.
Like,
You seem
so
very
chill.
upset.
Yeah,
You seem
I'm
very
not
irritated.
upset at all.
Calm down. Calm down.
yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Meditate. All right. Well, I have
Just the tattoos make me look mean and crazy. I'm really
gonna
nice.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I have a follow-up question for you, but I'm going to get everybody's answer. So, are you going to answer the question? Or you said 10, correct?
Yeah, she said
She's a 10. Okay, what about you?
Since I'm twice as old as everyone here, I probably like 6.5
Okay.
consensus.
I want to say, I'm sorry, I forgot about that. I want to say a 10 too, but I was originally going to give myself like an 8 maybe because I was trying to be nice to myself, but now I want to be extra nice to myself, and I'm a 10.
Okay.
Confident 10.
Go ahead.
I'm going with an 8.
All right.
I'm going to say an 8.
Okay, I give myself a 5. Andrew, what about you?
So I think that the wisdom of the crowd would probably place me around a 3 or a 4, and I rate myself a 4.
You got to give yourself more credit than that, dude.
Yeah, you really do.
Well, so no, stop, right? This is what I do is I look around at the reality that I live in. In the reality that I live in, I see dudes who are super stacked and they're ripped and they have youth on me and all sorts of different things.
Yep.
And based on those criteria, purely physical, we're not talking about personality. I know I'm fucking awesome, right? I have the greatest personality ever. I'm hilarious, great. We're just talking about objective beauty standards. That's it.
But you have a
That's
cute
all
face.
we're talking about.
Not besides your body, you have a cute face.
Yeah, I get that, but there's lots of men who
you're
have a
welcome.
cute face, and then they have the knockout bod to go with it and everything else, right? So what I'm saying is that I think that the standard, the wisdom of the crowd would be about on par with where I'm putting myself. And so the reason I asked this question is because I was hoping that I wouldn't get a room full, because every woman who's on this show apparently is the most beautiful. They're in the top tier of the most beautiful women in the world. And you can see where I would be skeptical as to hearing that claim over and over and over again without thinking that maybe I'm being gaslit a bit, or perhaps people weren't being particularly honest with me. So I thought I would reframe it differently with the wisdom of the crowd, and yet somehow I still end up with the same exact answer. Apparently 1,000 men would also rate you to the same beauty standard that you would rate yourself, which is crazy to me. Don't you think that that's a little bit sus? It's a little bit like, maybe you're
Men
not
aren't that
quite
picky.
being honest.
No.
No?
Yeah, it's sus. I think people here
Yeah.
are lying.
But don't you think
Yeah,
there's
it's
a reason why, maybe?
I think
What-
people
yeah,
want
what
to
is-
lie
what-
to
tell me, what is the
lie about
reason?
Same
themselves.
results.
You mean delusion?
Who do you
Is
think
that the reason?
No, why is there
Everyone
the
at
same
this
results
table.
if you keep
Oh,
doing,
they're-
if you're doing
they
something
ranked
different,
us.
why are you getting the same results then?
Well, actually, I just did something different. I just did something different. So usually the definition of insanity, which I think you're alluding to, which, by the way, this isn't the definition. It's some like weird layman that came out of the 90s from a bunch of stupid teachers. But how it goes something like this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. So I introduced a completely different hypothetical and still got the same result, which makes me think maybe I'm not insane, but rather the people I'm talking to might be suffering a bit from delusion.
Okay,
I agree.
I'm saying something completely different. You didn't even understand it. I said, if you're framing it differently and you're getting the same answer, then there's a variable here that's not being addressed.
What's the variable?
Maybe it's the context in which, like, what is the point of the question, like, is what I want to know.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll explain it to you so that you know.
Okay.
The point of the question is to ascertain between men and women who is more or less delusional about what the physical characteristics that they have externally presented to other people are actually perceived, right? So the perception of other people to how you actually look versus how you think you actually look. And let me explain the concept behind why that's asked that way. It's because women are inundated with messages from men who want to have sex with them all the time, every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Because of this, you can run into a problem which is unique to females because they have this superpower called female narcissism. And the reason that this ends up happening is because so many simps will constantly inundate their DMs that after a while they start to actually believe the bullshit. So this is why you end up having a room full of women who are, they could be burn victims with their fucking tongue hanging out of the left side of their cheek and have a hunchback, and they go, I'm a 10. And you go, what are you, fucking on crack? Well, no, not really. It's not that they're on crack, right? Even though you would think so. It's because there's still some fucking simp somewhere who's like, I gotta fap to this chick. That's my thing. I love when they have burns and their tongues hanging out and they have a hunchback. And so they believe the bullshit. That's the point of the question.
And this is why I tell any girl that asks me that they want to be a dancer that just do it, because in the club you're always going to find somebody that messes with you.
Right. That's exactly right. And so now you understand the point. Now you understand the reasoning. Do you even have an objection to the reasoning, or does it make sense?
It makes sense. Guys gas us up.
Now, hang on.
I get that,
I'm
but
talking
I
to
don't
her.
agree with that point, though. Like, you're like, oh, because we're all narcissists. I think it's deeper than that. I think it's like,
No. I'm not saying you're all narcissists. Wait. Don't straw
women
man
that
the
see
position.
themselves as a 10 is
No.
what I'm
What
saying.
I'm saying specifically is this, and I'll demonstrate it real quick before you respond. If you took your phone and the amount of DMs you get on social media to most any random man, and you were to compare how many men contacted you for some type of sex versus how many women contacted them for some type of sex, who do you think would be way ahead? You or them?
You know what's interesting about this? So I've heard
Let her
that-
answer. Let her
Okay.
answer.
I'll answer after.
I don't understand how you're even phrasing that.
If you took your phone and the amount of men who DM you to say, oh, you're beautiful, you're a queen, oh, you're great, oh, I wish I could date you, oh, I'd like to have sex with you, et cetera, and you were to compare that with any random guy's phone on the street, who do you think would come out ahead?
Of course, the girls.
Of course, the girls. So
Yeah, 'cause
you
it's a
can
diff-
assume
it's a
then that
social
if you have that much attention
structure,
one
like,
way,
that's
that it would be
society.
much easier for the one sex to believe in a delusion than the other sex because they're not being gaslit nearly as much.
I don't think it's
Right?
about delusion, though. I don't think that's the answer or like conclusion to that. It's like you're kind of the way you're saying it is like degrading. You're like, well, they're saying they're a 10 because they're a narcissist. Hooray. Like,
No, they say you're 10
how
because
is
they want to have
that
sex
like
with you.
even a conclusion?
No.
Like, that's
Guys
kind of like messed up.
it's called juicing you up, right? They're razzing you up and telling you the most beautiful
Gassing
girl in the
you
world
up.
because they want to have sex with you. That's why they do that. And so what it does, if you have enough of that male attention, it jacks up your estimation of yourself. Men don't have that. They don't have the inundation of people jacking their self-esteem up. And so it seems that they have a much clearer objective standard of their state in the world when it comes to objective beauty, and women seem not to.
I don't think that's true.
Hang on, let her respond. Let her respond.
First of all, like, let's just clarify. You mean not all men, though? Because I know men that are like that. So
No, of course not. Of course,
All right.
there's some men out there, of course, that
Okay,
that's going to be the
that's
case, that their ego's through the roof, they're drop dead gorgeous, whatever it is.
Here's
But
what-
that's not in general going to be the case.
Okay.
A woman who's a mid-5 and a man who's a mid-5, if you compare their phones, tell me the truth, who's coming out ahead?
Okay, here's my response.
Answer that question first.
Yes,
Who's coming out ahead? if
I'm
they're
answering
two
that.
mids?
It's women, and it's because society, in like the structure of civilization and society, men have been on the hunt for women. That's how it's always been. It hasn't been reversed, so that is why. It's,
Yeah, but I mean,
obviously
that
that
would
women
still
are going
go
to
to
get
my
more attention
point.
because guys are the ones that have always.
It doesn't. But wait.
systemically done
I
that.
think you're missing. I think you're missing some critical context here. It wouldn't really matter why. Let's say aliens. The reason is because aliens made it happen. The reasoning behind it wouldn't matter so much as the fact that it is true. And if it is true, then the results of this are if you have one group who is constantly being gassed up and told you're great, you're awesome, you're sexy, you're hot, et cetera, their estimation of themselves is going to be far different than another group that never hears that, right? That's the point. And that's why I think we end up with these standardized answers which seem to be delusional.
But you're asking women if they what they think about themselves, but they know their personality, they know how they are. But it's hard to say, oh, just based
It's hard
off
to
a photo.
separate that.
Well, is
this
it?
is what
Is
I
it though?
think.
Hang on. You seem like you're kind of based a little bit more in reality, right? Just a bit. So let me ask you. Here's the actual question. If you go and you compared your phone to whatever guy that you randomly met in the street, who's getting more DMs for sex, him or you?
I'm for sure getting more answers.
Oh yeah, you're for sure getting more, right?
Yeah,
Tons
but
more.
it's not.
Now,
it's
do you
just
think
because-
do you think that if you had a person who was always treated a certain way, they were always treated like they were a princess, they were always treated like they were better than the cut of the cloth, they were always treated
Have
a
women
certain
always
way,
been, though?
that could affect their psyche to the
real.
point where
Absolutely.
they might
Women
think
have not.
thoughts,
Yes.
delusional thoughts about themselves that weren't true?
Yes, they're fucking delusional, for sure.
Yeah, they're fucking delusional. And so that's the point of the question. So
It's okay to
if
be a little
every single
delusional if it
chick
makes
who
your
comes
life
in here
better,
is an
though.
8, if every single chick who comes in here is an 8, then the problem is that everyone's thinking something that isn't true, and we want to know fucking why. Right?
But hey,
We
just
wanna
like I
know
said,
why.
they're an 8 to somebody. So if you want to walk around with that delusion or that reality, that's your reality, then that's what you're living in. So that's fine. If you have,
That's why we
somebody's
didn't ask
ugly
the
as shit and they're
question this
walking
time
around.
about whether or not they're an 8 to somebody.
Another
we asked
thing
about
was-
the wisdom of the crowd of if 1,000 men were judging, not one, 1,000.
You take out number
Then, but
7.
if we still get the same answer, then that means there must be some kind of
true.
delusion going
That's a
on
good
here.
point.
You know,
There probably is.
I didn't hear anybody say you can't say number 3 for yourself. You said you can't say 7. I would have said 7
Yeah,
for
well, I
myself,
still
but
don't
I
understand the
wasn't going to
7
go
to 10.
down from 7.